He wanted to explain the situation to his manager and leave, but his manager didn't answer the phone. If John had taken the 4 pizzas back without informing his manager would have gotten very angry and even deducted his salary. So, when his manager didn't answer the phone after multiple calls, he decided to try delivering to the house once. As John moved forward, a light inside the house turned on. He gained a little confidence, thinking that maybe someone was inside. He rang the doorbell and loudly called out, "Pizza delivery!" But no one answered the door for a while. John rang the bell again. This time, he heard footsteps from inside, but still, no one opened the door. Just as John was about to leave, the door suddenly opened on its own. John hesitantly entered. A dim light was on in the hall, but there was no one inside. John called out, "Hello, anyone here? Please take your pizza." Just then, he noticed a black cat emerging from under a sofa in the hall and running towards a room. As soon as the cat entered the room, the light and TV inside the room turned on, and the mischievous laughter of small children began echoing. John thought someone might be playing a prank on him. In anger, he went into the room. There were 2 young girls sitting on the bed. They were staring at John in a strange way. John started telling them how long he had been ringing the doorbell, but they hadn't opened the door. He was getting frustrated with them, but the 2 girls just sat there, staring at him in silence. John then said, "I'm here to deliver pizza. Is there an adult here from whom I can collect the payment?" Suddenly, the girls' eyes turned completely white, and their silence turned into a terrifying scream. To find out what happened next, do subscribe. They both pointed towards the door of the room, which was behind John. When John turned around to look, he got startled. 4 pizza boxes fell from his hands because right in front of him, there was the shadow of a terrifying woman. Seeing all this, John began to shake with fear. He somehow ran towards his bike and left from there. The shadow of that woman and those 2 girls were standing at the door of the house, watching him leave. John had barely gone a short distance when he felt that his bike was malfunctioning. Suddenly, the sound of the bike scraping started, and the bike stopped. Terrified, John got off and saw that the tire of his bike was punctured. In fear, he called the police and quickly asked for help. He started looking around, and suddenly his gaze fell on the rear-view mirror of the bike. When he looked, the ground slipped from under his feet. Behind the bike, the shadow of that woman and those 2 girls were standing. All 3 of them were slowly coming towards John. Terrified, John left his bike there and started running towards the forest. While running, he got very tired and hid behind a large tree. He just started praying for his life, and then, after a while, he heard the distant sound of police sirens. He gathered the remaining courage and started running back to his bike. When he reached his bike, he saw the police were examining it. He told the police everything and took them to that house. The police went inside the house to investigate, but they didn't find anyone except a wild cat. The next morning, John found out that the house had been empty for the last 3 years. Moreover, 3 years ago, a woman and her 2 young daughters had lived in that house, and one day they were suddenly murdered. Hearing this, John was stunned. He realized that whatever he had seen that day, it was the spirits of that woman and her little daughters who might still be trapped in that house. But he never understood who had made that phone call. After this incident, John quit his pizza delivery job, but whenever he remembers that incident, he starts trembling badly. If you like stories like this, we upload such stories daily, so please subscribe to our channel.